Resident Evil Requiem isn't just continuing the franchise, it's restructuring it. From dual protagonists with completely different gameplay philosophies, to redesigned survival mechanics, to a deliberate return to the original series mythology, Capcom isn't experimenting randomly here. They're recalibrating. So, in this video, we're breaking down the 10 biggest changes in Resident Evil Requiem. And more importantly, why these changes actually matter for the future of the series. Let's start with the most visible shift. Resident Evil has had multiple protagonists before, but Requiem appears to be designing two entirely different survival experiences within one game. Grace seems built around vulnerability, first-person perspective, limited resources, stealth-heavy movement, environmental tension. Leon, on the other hand, leans into controlled aggression, third-person camera, stronger melee presence, more direct combat engagement. From what we've seen, this isn't cosmetic variation, it's mechanical contrast. Each character appears to represent a different survival identity. That's a major design shift compared to recent entries. Village added optional third-person mode later. Requiem integrates perspective directly into narrative progression. Grace's sections use first-person for immersion and claustrophobic tension. Leon's sections use third-person for spatial awareness and combat clarity. That alone changes how tension builds. First-person forces vulnerability. Third-person enables control. Instead of one continuous escalation curve, Requiem appears to alternate emotional intensity. Pressure, release, pressure again. That rhythm is new for the series. Stalker-type enemies are returning, but their function appears different depending on perspective. For Grace, they seem designed as avoidance-driven threats. Run, hide, distract. For Leon, those same enemies appear more like boss encounters. Confrontation over evasion. This dual-function design is interesting because it changes how fear operates. The same creature can represent helplessness in one section and empowerment in another. That's layered design. From the footage shown, stealth is no longer optional flavor. Grace is shown using environmental tools, distraction objects, and limited takedowns. This suggests a return to true resource tension. You may not be able to eliminate every threat. Avoidance may be smarter than confrontation. That leans closer to classic survival horror fundamentals than the action-heavy tone of Resident Evil 6. If this balance holds, it could restore mechanical tension that some entries drifted away from. One subtle but meaningful change shown in early previews is the separation of inventory systems. Grace appears to use a compact crafting-focused survival inventory, similar to Resident Evil 7 and Village. Leon appears to return to the attaché case grid system popularized in Resident Evil 4. That difference matters. Inventory design influences decision-making. Limited slots increase anxiety. Grid management encourages strategic planning. Two systems, two mental frameworks. That's a thoughtful structural choice. Zombies appear to mutate post-defeat. From what's been shown, enemies can evolve into more aggressive forms if not handled properly. This echoes the Crimson Head mechanic from the Resident Evil 1 remake, but updated. If confirmed in full gameplay, this would mean combat decisions extend beyond the initial encounter. You're not just killing threats, you're managing potential escalation. That adds systemic tension. Lighting appears to be more than atmosphere this time. The flashlight seems manually controlled rather than automatically activated. Some enemies react differently depending on light exposure. This implies environmental awareness may become part of survival strategy. Darkness isn't just visual mood, it's tactical positioning. That kind of systemic lighting hasn't been deeply integrated since earlier franchise experiments. Leon appears to gain aggressive melee tools, including an axe and chainsaw-style weaponry.
I think I want a second opinion. Nice.
Grace, despite her vulnerability-driven design, receives the Requiem Magnum relatively early. That weapon looks powerful but limited. High impact, low margin for waste. These choices reinforce character identity. Leon dominates space. Grace survives through calculated bursts. Weapon design shaping identity is a strong mechanical shift. Based on trailer footage, Requiem seems to feature larger urban environments, ruined city streets, more open traversal sections, possible vehicle sequences. It doesn't look fully open world, but it looks less confined than Resident Evil 7's plantation setting. If accurate, that expansion alters encounter density and pacing. Scale influences fear differently than confinement. Perhaps the biggest change of all is narrative direction. Requiem appears to reconnect to legacy threads: Raccoon City, Umbrella, Leon's unresolved arcs, Outbreak connections. Rather than isolating itself like Village did with the Winters family storyline, Requiem folds back into the larger Resident Evil mythology. That's significant, because it suggests Capcom isn't just telling a contained story. They're consolidating the franchise's past. Based on everything shown so far, Resident Evil Requiem isn't chasing reinvention. It's refining, layering, reconnecting, dual gameplay identities, system-driven tension, legacy narrative integration. The real question isn't whether these are changes, it's whether refinement will feel bold enough when we finally get our hands on it. Which of these changes stands out to you the most?
Playable memory.